Sixth grade, we have a very exciting lesson prepared for you today, and it is going to be involving preparation for a debate that is going to be taking place on Flipgrid, amongst other formats. So before we get started, let's go ahead and pose the question. All right. Is collective learning, all right, directly tied to culture? Or is culture something in and of itself that isn't involved in collective learning at all? All right. So we are going to be debating, as you can see in the preparation up top right here. You're going to be thinking about the relationship between collective learning, all right, that amassing of knowledge throughout time and space, throughout human history, and how it connects to our culture. So if you've looked at my previous video before, kind of talking about what culture is or what it means to us, hopefully that gets you in the mind frame about how you're going to structure your argument, either for or against collective learning, helping to create this product of culture. So what you're looking at here is directly found on the Big History Project website. It is under 6.2. You can see in the top left right here, the 6.2 activity. If you want to go onto the Big History site and look at that, you can. I have this posted on Google Classroom as well. So feel free to explore this in any way that you wish. But I wanted to get you prepped to think about how you're going to formulate your argument. All right, so here we've got the claim testers and how you're going to use those in order to not only develop your argument, because you haven't been assigned anything yet, right? But how you're going to develop your argument in relation to making counter arguments against this topic. So for example, you know that you're going to be, if you are assigned to argue that culture is a result of collective learning, or collective learning helps to contribute to culture, you know you're going to be looking for points that help assert your claim, right, or prove your claim. You also want to be looking for what the potential arguments against your claim is going to be. A good debater, a good lawyer, a good, argument is always going to not only have tools in the toolkit to prove what they want to prove, but also to disprove what the other side wants to prove. You're looking at both sides of the argument regardless of your stance, so that way you can look for potential weaknesses and strengths for yours and theirs. I hope that makes sense, guys. All right. So here are some questions in the process here. All right. And you'll have your two position groups in a Google Docs. You can see exactly where you're at. All right. Whether you're for or against this whole thing. Here are questions that you need to consider regardless of what side you're on. All right. And you also need to consider for the other side. So this is why it's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. It's going to force you out of a comfort zone and just relying on arguing for something as opposed to looking at what the other argument is going to be as well. So read through these questions. All right. I really like this last one here. Is saying bless you when somebody sneezes a reflection of collective learning? All right. Like just these little intricacies in our day, all right, where we've gotten them from and how they've gotten there, right? Saying God bless you, that's not something innate. That's something that we've learned over time. But why do we say God bless you when somebody sneezes? And I'll give you a little hint. It goes back to the times of the bubonic plague, of the Black Death in Europe. All right. I'll leave it at that. All right. I'm just going to leave that there and I'll see where you guys run with that. But take a look at these, all right, this process, and stop there. Okay. Only look at this first page that I have pulled up for you right now. There are other pages if you want to glance at. All right. I don't want you to get too caught up on them because it is the debate format guide. This is the way things are going to be going on Flipgrid, where Team A and Team B, which you guys will be assigned eventually on that Google Doc, you're going to have 5 minutes. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer on Flipgrid, and you're going to present your position. All right, for either side. Everybody's going to be doing this. Then there's going to be a rebuttal. We'll do that another round. All right. And everybody will be kind of rebutting someone else's argument. Okay. Because the rebuttal is you coming back with a counter argument. And then finally, you're going to have a closing statement. So you're kind of being a lawyer here as to whether or not collective learning is guilty or not guilty of uh, resulting in culture, or culture being guilty of a result of collective learning, something along those lines. I don't want to confuse you guys too much. So again, just focus on this page. All right. Down here, it's just a rubric. Whenever I'm looking at your flip grids, whenever I'm watching your arguments, I'm looking for these things right here. All right, overall argument, explanation of ideas of information, rebuttal and closing statements, eyes, body, and voice. So this is a little bit different because we're doing it on a web format, but just like if you were to present this argument in class, right? Like what I'm doing now, good eye contact, looking at the person that you're talking to. All right, your voice, are you projecting? Are you confident? Do you have the information up here as opposed to just like reading it off of a page and looking up every once in a while? All right. Know your argument, be confident, and really take pride in what it is you're going to be saying about this topic. You're going to be going head to head with some people here, selected randomly, and I cannot wait to see the kind of creativity that you guys bring forth with this. The last page is just the blank rubric that I'll be using. I'll have this converted into some sort of Google Doc format so that way you can see where you land when it comes to your final grade for this project. So we're probably going to be doing this over the next week or two, just because I want to give you guys enough time to prepare and then to have the rebuttals and all that sort of thing. So we'll be doing some back and forths here. So my next point. Right here it says, remember to use the debate prep worksheet to help prepare for the debate. Again, look back at the Google Doc that says whether you're on Team A or Team B, what you are going to be arguing, all right, what side, and you're going to look at this. This is a debate prep worksheet that I have posted to Google Docs as well, or Google Classroom, and everybody has their own copy. Make sure your name's here. Capitalize your name, first and last name. You're a proper noun. I'm going to take points off of your grade if you don't do this. It's so simple. Get in the habit of it. Capitalize your first and last name, for goodness sake, please, and thank you. The debate prep worksheet. I took you can find this on Big History Project as well, if you want to look at it that way. But I converted it into a Google Doc so that way you can use it to type and to save and to turn in. So here it is here, the statement, okay? State the answer to the debate question or opinion that you'll be arguing. Here's your answer right here. Collective learning, da-da-da-da-da, with culture. Collective learning does not, da-da-da-da-da-da, culture. And here are the major points, and the directions are all here for you. I would like you to have 4 major points to allude back to throughout your argument. All right, so as you're thinking about this, think about how your major points have examples and supporting evidence towards what you're arguing. So all of these major points, 1 through 4, need to tie back into this statement, need to tie back into the answer. Okay? That makes sense? Good to go. If it doesn't, get a hold of me. Okay? But everything that you say here, major points 1 through 4, have to connect back to your statement. That's it. All right? And here's a checklist. All right. So when you go through this, here's what I recommend that you all do. Sit down with somebody at home and present your argument to them and ask them to do this checklist for you. All right? So it should take no more than about 5 minutes for you to run through everything, right? Because that's how long the flip grid assessment is going to be. So sit down and talk through your points here with a parent, with a brother and sister, with somebody that's in the household, and see if they are able to check off all of these checklists. If they have a question about something, that'll point a hole in your argument. That'll show that you have a weakness, because you might think that you have things thought out. But if you can't convey that thought to someone that isn't really privy or in tune with what it is you're trying to argue, that right there should tell you everything that you need to know. So have someone, all right, sit down and fill out this checklist as you present your argument. And if they're able to check off all those things and you're able to check off all those things, you're off to an excellent start. Okay. So this is what we're going to be working on over the next week. Your debate prep worksheet, everything, major points in section 2, 1 through 4, need to point back to section 1. All right. If they don't, needs revised a little bit. If they do, keep at it. All right. So I hope that helps you understand what it is that we're going to be working on this week. Your teams will be in a Google Doc. You'll just be separated randomly on team A or team B, and it will be outlined exactly what side you will be taking. So hope all is well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And I will see you next time.